defenses in the climate fight. It also requires us to give up our addiction to fossil fuels and adopt cleaner, smarter technologies for our energy use. We are determined to not passively wait on the climate front. We aspire to be more than another cautionary tale of what happens when nature and the destructive forces she can unleash are not respected. We have put forward an ambitious plan to reach net zero by 2030, which we hope to achieve with international support. Mr. President, when we speak of pressing global issues, addressing terrorism and violent extremism remain on the agenda. We cannot be complacent to the growing threat posed by extremist interpretations of religious texts. The Maldives has always prided itself on being a moderate Muslim country in which a pluralist and rationalist Islam prevailed, but we are not immune from the threat posed by radicalized extremists. On the 6th of May this year, we suffered one of the worst terrorist attacks to have ever occurred on our soil, the targeted assassination attempt on a Speaker of Parliament, former President Mohamed Nasheed. We will not stand idly by while more such cowardly attacks are planned and while more young minds are poisoned by false and violent interpretations of religion. We condemn terrorism in all its forms everywhere and reiterate our steadfast commitment to work with the international community to address terrorism in a coordinated and comprehensive manner. Mr. President, our government and the people of the Maldives stand firmly and resolutely with the Palestinian people. Despite decades of United Nations efforts, the Palestinian people have yet to see justice. We continue to bear witness to the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people being so wantonly violated in ever-escalating ways by Israel. Generations of educated youth around the world are standing up for the rights of the Palestinian people. They are standing up in protest against the unjust and inhuman treatment of the Palestinian people. Despite the many resolutions of both the General Assembly and the Security Council, the rights of Palestine are minimal or non-existent. As the head of state of a small country, I am able to stand here and speak to you all today because my country is recognized as a state. What has the world got to lose by fully recognizing Palestine as an independent state? On behalf of the Maldivian people, I want the privilege extend to millions of my Palestinian brothers and sisters, for them to be fully recognized by the United Nations and their individual liberties protected. I want to see a fully recognized Palestinian state with all the benefits and opportunities that membership confers. Maldivians will continue to fight for the full recognition of Palestine as an independent state. Mr. President, as a neighbor in the wider South Asia region, we are also concerned about the long-term peace and stability of Afghanistan. We want to ensure the safety of the people, the protection and realization of the rights of women and girls, and that steps are taken to form an inclusive and representative government for the people. Through these steps, Afghanistan can demonstrate its commitment to building a peaceful, durable, and thriving country. Mr. President, I believe that the United Nations still offers the best hope for humanity. This organization still represents the pinnacle of what concerted diplomacy can achieve and continues to embody the hopes of all, irrespective of status, class, or gender, who believe in peaceful dialogue to solve global problems. From famine to pandemics to terrorism, the United Nations is the most important global platform for deliberation decision-making to solve the world's most important challenges. I thank the international community for their support to the Maldives candidature for the presidency of the General Assembly. I wish every success for this Assembly's work. Thank you.
अलिफ्ताल मजलिह के आम मजलिह के नामुगा दिहराज्य के रईस जमहूरिया शुक्र दानो देबी तकरीर. On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Maldives for the statement just made, and I request protocol to escort His Excellency. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Ivan Duque Marquez, President of the Republic of Colombia. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Ivan Duque Marquez, President of the Republic of Colombia, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
A very good morning to you, delegates. President of the General Assembly of the United Nations Organization, Abdullah Shahid, Secretary General of the United Nations Organization, Mr. Antonio Guterres, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, heads of state and heads of missions. Today, once again, we find ourselves in this global forum, which historically has been a forum that is vital for the development of multilateralism, the building of peace and solutions to the threats facing our shared world. We are doing this year in the face of a cruel pandemic that is assailing our health systems, our economies, our achievements in the area of equality, and our progress on the 2030 agenda. However, above all other considerations, we are meeting here once again in this historic hemicycle, reminded as we are of mankind's weakness, and at the same time recognizing the stature and the abilities of the human race, which is able to overcome the greatest challenges. COVID-19 crashed abruptly into our lives. It changed our daily lives, our interactions, and it carried away our loved ones. This deadly virus has tested our emotions to understand today more than ever before just how important the embrace of a father or a mother is, just how much it means to share time with family, just how fulfilled we feel following an unexpected friendly encounter. This fate has threatened our education, our health, our economy. The technology of the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud computing and its applications have revealed to us that progress in the virtual world are opportunities for human development. The pandemic has shown our strengths and has also shown our weaknesses. We have seen shortcomings in multilateralism, in responding effectively and in a coordinated way during the most critical times. The divides existing between nations with regard to the process of vaccination are unprecedented. While some nations are acquiring additional doses for 6 or 7 times the size of their population and are also announcing third booster shots. Others have not even been able to inject one single dose of hope in their population. The pandemic has worsened other crises as well, the effects of which are just as threatening. We are witnesses to the greatest effects of climate change and the greatest inequalities brought on by economic recession and by migration crises, where we see people who are prepared to risk their lives for decent work, a plate of food, and at the same time they're fleeing dictatorships and shameful regimes. The pandemic has also clearly shown the effect it can have on peace building and the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. This reality makes it possible for me to share with you Colombia's reality and share with you together actions that we need to undertake together, undivided. We need to think together about the future of humanity. In our country, we have confronted the pandemic on 3 fronts: health, care for the most vulnerable, and the reopening of our economy. We are